And up next, we have Untapped, which is out of IE Business School.
Hello, is that working? Hello, my name is Dan Nolan, and I am the co-founder and managing partner of Untapped, a platform for clean water and last mile distribution.
Hi, I'm Nick. I am the CTO of Untapped and a student at 42 Silicon Valley. I was born and raised in Haiti, and I've been living there for over 22 years now. Growing up in Haiti, I always had everything I needed because of my parents. But I always observed how hard it was for most people to have access to even basic needs like clean and affordable water. So many people are still getting water from dirty sources and they end up in hospitals. This is frightening. I want to change this. So with Untapped, I get the amazing opportunity to make the right impact and bring change to my home country and even way beyond.
So this problem of a lack of access to basic resources is growing globally. Africa is the fastest growing region in the world. Sub-Saharan Africa is going to add another 1 billion people in the next 30 years. And centralized government-led infrastructure has not been sufficient to serve the people. Over half the people don't have access to clean water or energy. But there are some ways, there are some great examples of how this can be done differently and well. Telecoms, for example, is a great example. They led the way with technology and private investment, and now 44% of all Africans have mobile phones, and that's mostly within the last decade. Untapped is doing the same thing for clean water and energy. Untapped's platform is the most efficient means for clean water and basic services in emerging markets. And we do that in 3 parts. The first part is we build clean water treatment centers in areas where there's a lack of basic infrastructure, a lack of access to basic services. And this allows us to sell the clean water in these areas at 1/2 to 1/4 of the lowest market prices. It also allows us to hire locally in these areas with unemployment rates upwards of 80%. And finally, it allows us to really be part of the community and gain trust within the community. The second part of our solution is the last mile distribution. So from each treatment site, we get a network of local retailers in the area, little mom and pop shops, anywhere from 40 to 60, that we distribute to directly. And once we've really figured out the logistics and the supply chain and make that supply chain super efficient, we use these same last mile distribution channels to sell other secondary goods, things like toilet paper, soap, powdered milk. And that really transforms our water treatment centers into a sustainable, profitable, thriving business center.
The last part is our tech platform, which we nicknamed SEMA. SEMA stands for System for Emerging Market Analytics. So for each site, SEMA is composed of 5 components. A mobile app to collect sales, customer information, and other important data. A resilient database that can scale to each site's need. A secure web server to bridge between the app and the database. A flexible API to allow access to third parties and partners to relevant information. And many other tools that are encapsulated into a powerful web application to really have monitoring and analytics measures. Each one of those components are designed to work entirely for emerging areas. This includes offline operabilities and a scaled solution for those areas. On top of it all, it's all open sourced. So all of this system allows for oversight. It creates replicable business process across sites, and it drives down costs. We launched our first water kiosk business in Haiti under the name of Glo Haiti. Today, Glo Haiti serves over 150,000 people. We currently have over 530 local retailers in our last mile distribution network. And each one of those retailers managed to increase their income by 10 to 20%. And with our solar installation, we reduced CO2 emissions by over 350 metric tons per year.
So we looked at this model we had in Haiti and we thought, how can we really take this and really scale it globally? And that's how we came up with the platform solution and Untapped. And what the platform does is it really empowers local entrepreneurs to scale this model in their region. So what the platform is, it takes all of our best practices from water operations, logistics and distribution, off-grid energy, and our mobile IT platform that ranges from water quality management to CRM to system monitoring. And it packages it all together and we deliver it in a turnkey solution for local operators, for local entrepreneurs to really adopt into their region. And this really allows the local operators to focus on team building and local execution while we provide the technology, the tools, and the training to ensure a sustainable business model. So these local operators come in many different forms. There's NGOs, there's safe water enterprises, there's public utilities, there's private enterprises. And they've been around for a while trying to tackle this challenge of access to basic services. And in fact, the safe water enterprises have been around since 2007. And recently, a Dahlberg study said that these safe water enterprises can serve between 1.46 and 3.86 billion people and deserve greater support. And because of their initial success and this great problem, the safe water enterprises have really exploded in the last 10 years. They've expanded all across Africa and Southeast Asia, but they've all struggled. They've all struggled to scale, and many of them for the same reasons. They've all struggled to be financially viable. They've all struggled with business processes across sites to really manage scaling, and they've all been using equity to finance upfront capital. And because of the sector is so fragmented, there hasn't been any kind of commercial capital available. Untapped solves these pain points. Our logistics and distribution and sales optimization ensures site sustainability. Our mobile IT platform has standardized processes so you can scale across regions and across sites. And we take our platform and we finance it for these local operators so they can significantly reduce their capital outlay. And finally, because we have such this large network of local retailers, we allow this distribution for consumer product good companies to really come in and reach the BOP customer. So our mission is to improve access to clean water and basic services for emerging markets. We currently have pilots in Kenya, Rwanda, and Ghana, and we're well on our way to our goal of serving the next 100 million people by 2030. And we hope you join us to tackle this great challenge. Thank you.
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to get my head around what this is. Are you a safe water enterprise? So when you started off the presentation and showed those pictures, I got the sense that you have the feet on the street, but then you kind of talked about the mobile platform and the idea that the SWEs are having a hard time scaling. So what are you guys?
So right, we're a platform to help local operators help SWAs scale. I think the purpose was to kind of introduce people to the SWE model. I think that's pretty new to a lot of people. Okay,
so it's purely a platform play. You guys aren't, you're not actually creating any physical infrastructure?
We do create some of the physical infrastructure, but we don't operate it on the ground.
Say more about that.
What?
Say more about that, please.
Oh, sure. So our most recent project, it's going up in Burkina Faso with a group, Water4, who's an NGO that operates there. And mostly what they've done in the past is they've been building wells, but they understand that's not a sustainable solution. Mm-hmm. So they hired us for a proposal to come in. We financed it for them. We design and build the whole site. They have the team there to run and operate it, and we provide a service for training and how do you run the logistics and operate and sell water.
Okay. And then, if you had to put your finger on kind of one fundamental thing you're doing with the platform that's sort of a fundamental innovation that will enable you guys to, build a competitive moat and scale and succeed, what is that?
I'd say it's not sexy, but it's the logistics piece behind it. And how do you, most all these safe water enterprises operate as proximity models. They build the site and people walk up and get their water. And that's just not sufficient to be sustainable. And so it's adding in, our sales optimization adds in logistics about how do you deliver this water to these local retailers, how do you create this network, and then how do you use those channels, how do you leverage those channels to add in other secondary goods to make it really profitable and thriving.
So is that like inventory management? Like what is that?
Supply chain management, inventory management, sales optimization.
Okay.
Could you walk us through the economics of one site, both for the entrepreneur who's running that site and for you guys in terms of what you're making off that site?
Sure. So a typical site, the capital may be about $60,000. We make them pay an upfront fee anywhere from, it kind of depends on what they want, if it's a capital lease or operating lease, but we'll make them pay something like $15,000 upfront. And then we'll have them also pay a $1,000 monthly fee. And the return on these sites, at the beginning it's around 30,000, and they can get up to, all the sites in Haiti are running out over 100,000 right now. So it's anywhere from, 30% of their revenue to dwindles down to about 10% as they grow as a monthly fee. So they're able to get their return on their asset in less than 2 years, or return on their investment in less than 2 years.
I guess a follow-up to that question, can you walk us through how you select a partner to work with? What does a perfect partner look like for your platform?
Sure, I think it's partners that have already been involved in these areas, have worked in these regions, understand the local politics, the local execution. Our partners so far have been these safe water enterprises and groups that, so far it's been Jibu. I don't know if you've heard of them. They operate in Rwanda, and Safe Water Network is a big one. That's one of our partners out in Ghana right now. And then another partner, Water4, that's been operating in Burkina Faso that we're just kind of submit our proposal to and signing that right now. Again, they've done water projects there and they know what they're doing, but they haven't done this. They haven't thought about how you operate a water kiosk and how you sell the water and how you really build out a profitable business.
A follow-up question to that is, it'd be great to understand your strategy to go broad as opposed to deep. You guys got your start in Haiti, now you're tackling the African continent, but you're picking a number of different countries and it's very early. I'm curious why you haven't decided to tackle just one country to start and test out your model there.
I think it's where, that's fair. I think it's where the partners have kind of asked for a model, and I think we're really looking to expand this global and make sure that we could expand to different regions, and so it's key to not get stuck in kind of one region. It's key to figuring out how we can build out the team to kind of manage several different regions in several different countries.
How big do you think this can get?
It's huge.
Huge?
It could serve the next 1.46 to 3.48 billion people.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about 5 to 7 years down the road? What does your revenue look like, and what does your exit strategy look like?
Sure. I don't think, so yeah. I think 5 to 7 years down the road, we want to get to about 1,000 sites. And so that's doing that quick math, $1,000 per month for each site, whatever that is.
12 million.
14 million, yeah. And the next, annual revenue. With more sites obviously coming in and building that up with the upfront capital as well.
And exit?
And exit, I think, looking to sell to these consumer good platform that really want the data and insight to this BOP market.
So you're saying it's a data play more than
In the end, yeah.
in the end?
Yeah. It's this last mile distribution. It's figuring out this really inefficient market and how do you solve that problem.
So one part, well, a very important part is the quality of what you deliver, right? So it sounds like you work with different technologies and different providers of the fresh water. Your goal is to get it to the customer? How do you ensure quality?
So-
And
oh.
the actual filtration is going to be at a
Yeah,
level.
I mean, so we're definitely technology agnostic for how it
Right.
treats the water, but we care very much about the water quality. And one of the pieces of our platform is the water quality management. And that's on-site operability, real-time monitoring, so you can see it. So we can see currently right now what's going on in Ghana with one of their sites, and
Okay.
what are their TDS levels and what are their chlorine levels. So that's definitely a huge part of what we do. And there's also automatic shutoffs that we have in there for the monitoring and things of that nature.
Just as part of some of your submitted materials, you mentioned annual cash flow of $24,000 per site for one of your facilities versus a typical competitor project at $8,000. I was curious how you got 3x
Sure, that's
better, and then also
sure.
The operator takes 10,000 of that, and you take 14,000. How comfortable do you think they'll be with that?
That was it's a first year projection, but I think the difference is what I talked about earlier with the proximity model versus distribution model. Seeing that a distribution model can be upwards of 5x if you get people, go to local retailers in the area versus having people just walk up and bring their bottles to the store. And then the second piece, I think because we're financing it for them, and then there's a lot more growth within that. Those are just like baseline projections of what they're going to hit in the first year. But as I said earlier, the sites in Haiti are all running over 100K at this point. So that service fee becomes pretty minimal by that point.
I've got a tech question here. Can you walk us through the systems that you're integrating with? I know there's a mobile piece of it, but I imagine that the partners all have different systems that they're working with. So how do you integrate on one platform and make that work?
See, the partners are, well, it's not really partners. Well, so each site, well, we can say partners, and yeah, so it's the same one for each site, and it will, since I say that it's open sourced, they're all going to use the same platform, really, and so I'm sorry, I didn't really get the question. What was it again?
Just more so of integration. As you think about expanding as far as scale goes, how do you get everybody, whether they're using your system or another system before you guys start, how does it all kind of blend together on one platform?
Oh, so it's not really at one platform. Okay. So we have the mobile app that is there for each kiosk, and that sends data to our web server, and the web server makes the connection between the mobile app and the database. And then there's the web application that has all the monitoring tools, analytics, and other important tools that can help the main staff. And yeah, that's about it for each kiosk. It's not one single platform.
But I think I could answer a little bit more to that. So that was one of the concerns about this fragmented piece of the Safe Water Enterprises. And so the project we're actually doing for GBU and Safe Water Network is we're actually creating the data architecture for this whole sector. And that's the entire purpose, is that we're going to be the ones, it's going to be open source, but we're going to be the ones that create it. So all the tools will be available to people, but there'll be tools that will be on the same data architecture.
Okay, thanks.
Do you guys know, do you know Africa's Talking?
Africa's Talking?
Yeah, you should check them out if and when you guys go into Africa, because they can help on the SMS front. They're essentially like a Twilio for sub-Saharan Africa.
Cool.
And make your life a lot easier.
We talked to a lot of people, but thank you. Yeah.
From the University of Iowa.
So this one is next.
Yeah.
1 billion, 2 billion? I'm just checking. Yes, worthy life. Let's talk about it. Modern agriculture has both advantages and disadvantages. Mass food production empowers us to feed more and more people around the world. But we all are aware about those disadvantages. Chemical fertilizer and pesticide, agrochemicals are harmful to farmers, farm workers, soil, water resources, atmosphere, wildlife, especially honeybees, which are a critical part of our food chain. Sorry for those bad news, but I have one more. Every year in the United States, we have tremendous amount of wood waste that sometimes we don't know what to do with those, and portion of them, we just burn them to get rid of them. Here is the map that shows the distribution and density of wood waste across the United States. Red regions show higher density of wood waste, but don't worry, we have solution for those. Hi, I'm Mahdi, founder of VerdiLife, PhD student in economics.
My name is Vahid. I'm the co-founder of VerdiLife. I'm also a PhD student of mechanical engineering at the University of Iowa. First of all, we would like to thank our GSVC team at the UC Berkeley, Miss Margaret Bowman, our wonderful coach, and Mr. Brett Wakart. Would you please stand up? Please give, yeah, you guys, without your help, we couldn't be here. You guys are heroes. Let's back to the presentation. Through our project, we are using a clean and self-sustaining technology to recycle wood base into wood vinegar and biochar. Wood vinegar is 100% organic fertilizer and pesticide for agriculture, and biochar is used in a soil amendment industries. In our project, we are not solving problems, but also we preventing them. You know that prevention is always better than treatment. We propose a self-sustained and carbon-negative project that recycle useless wood waste into value-added products, such as wood vinegar and biochar. These are 100% organic, and they are very attractive alternative to the agrochemicals.
Thanks to our research and development partners, University of Iowa and Iowa State Universities, we provide them with our sample of wood vinegar, and what they did, they took 2 equal cups of seed, soaked 1 cup in wood vinegar, the other one in water, and then after 24 hours, they just planted. You can see from the picture that only just after a day, more seed sprout out under the treatment of wood vinegar. Also, the plant grow faster, healthier, and greener. But the interesting thing is, after a few days, they stopped feeding them. So the treatment under water was died, but the treatment under wood vinegar was still alive and green. So this means that wood vinegar increased the shelf life of the plant. Only this advantage of wood vinegar can revolutionize flower production. This is what they want. So let's talk a little bit about agriculture and food market in the United States. 2 million farms, 900 million acres of land, with a value of almost $1 trillion, which account for more than 5% of our GDP. On average, farmers spend $100 per acre on fertilizer and pesticide, which means $6 billion market value. Also, $60 billion market value. Also, we have organic food market, which is the fastest expanding market in agriculture sector. The market touched $47 billion last year. It seems people nowadays care more about what they eat and how those foods are produced. To produce organic products, we need organic fertilizer and pesticide. The market right now is $2 billion market, but we estimated a market value of $6 billion by 2025. Our goal is to take at least 5% of this market.
To begin with, we plan to build our first production plant in Iowa, where we have a quick access to 88,000 farmers and more than 30 million acres farmland. By moreover, through our informative website, we have collected a long list of farmers' information around the world and in the state of Iowa that are interested to try our product. What we only need to do is to produce with vinegar and just ship to them. By that, we can raise enough capital to go to the $2 billion fertilizer market. One part of the project that we are so excited about, we built a strong partnership with US Forest Services and also United States Department of Agriculture. They offer us some incentives that we are going to use in this project.
As Wahid mentioned, we will start in a small-scale plant with 500 wood waste capacity per year. So to do that, we need initial investment of $700,000. Yes, this value is a conservative value because we didn't consider few things in it. For example, we will benefit from USDA federal and state level incentive to get our lands up to 6 acres. Moreover, we got financial incentive from few states to help them to manage their wood waste. So with that initial investment, our financial projection shows $8 million revenue from one of our sites with a 46% profit margin, which is going to leave us with $3.6 million accumulated profit in about 10 years.
In our project, we are not only thinking about our profit, but also we are thinking about farmers' benefit. First of all, wood vinegar is 100% organic, and it's safe. It's safe for farmers, workers in the land. It's safe for environment. Second, it's very easy to use because it's liquid. Farmers just need to inject wood vinegar into irrigation system and just use it in their land. Even if you have a small pot at home, you can mix it with water and spray it on your pot, and it's very easy to use. Third of all, is very cheaper than existing product in the market. For example, 1 gallon of microorganism is cost around $40 for a farmer. But wood vinegar is going to cost around $10 per gallon for farmers. This could help farmers to save a lot of money, and that could affect their bottom line significantly. And also, another issue is that nowadays modern agriculture faced with a problem called land degradation due to a use of and overuse of chemical fertilizer and pesticide. By switching to our product, we can solve this problem very easily.
A little bit about the ecosystem of this business. It's pretty simple. What we are going to do, we are going to build our facilities close to our resources. So by this, we are going to decrease our transportation costs and increase the efficiency of access to the market. Farmers are all around the United States. So the first plant is going to be in Iowa, where is our academic and business support from. Then we are in the expansion phase, we are going to expand to other places which we have access to better and more wood waste. Finally, product works. Market is ready. We need to raise funds to finance our initial steps. We need our technical greenhouse project needs $15,000. We need to finance our patent. By this, we will get our certification and we will build our plant and fully commercialize. This is how we are going to make the Earth a healthier and happier planet for you. Thank you.
Much for your presentation. Can you walk me through in a bit more detail your financial model? So starting in year 1, it looks like that's when you plan to start and finish building the initial plant and also capture enough revenue to be profitable or revenue materials. So that's my first question. If you can walk me through your plan to do that, because that seems like a lot to tackle with the capital intensive.
So how we are going to raise the capital?
No, how you're going to, in 1 year, get the plant built and then start selling enough.
So first of all, we build our prototype, and then we produce the initial wood vinegar. We provide sample for some farmers around the nations to try and then give us feedback. Second, also we finance we use those wood vinegar for our own material in the lab for the research partners. So that is how we are expecting that we are going to attract investment, and then we go to bigger But we're expecting that, so this valuation that we made, around $700,000, is actually very conservative. Also, we can decrease, for example, amount and then manipulate those stuff.
And then when I look at this 10-year cash flow chart, your growth is steady, but it's slow. So what's hamstringing your growth? How many sites are you deploying over that time?
This is just for one site.
That's just for one site.
Yeah. Moreover, in the detail, we also, the price of wood vinegar over a year will decrease because of more production. So we increase it. So we believe that we are going to make organic food on the table, not as a luxury product. So we decrease it over time because of more production.
Okay, thanks.
First of all, this is such an exciting business, so congratulations. Just one point that I might even include the public health benefit in your pitch deck, because there are now more and more studies linking so many public health issues to toxic
We didn't want to
chemicals in
touch that
agriculture.
part, because of something. I mean, Vahid wanted to add one. So we just said that, okay, we just mentioned, everyone knows about those, toxic stuff. Yes, we just...
My question is two things. So one is on IP. This does seem like it might be tricky to lock in IP if this is something that anyone can make out of wood waste. So I'm curious about that, and I saw an expense item around that. And then secondly, I'm curious about your personal motivation. Neither of you, you're an economist, right? You're a mechanical engineer, is that right?
Good match, right?
Yes. So why do you care so much about agriculture, other than living in Iowa?
The huge part of this process needs thermodynamic and heat transfer knowledge, because we use heat through our process, so we just want to make sure that the system works pretty well, because we need to break the chemical bonds of the wood in order to produce wood vinegar. So I'm taking care of the technical aspects of the facility and development, and Maddie is economic guy.
I take about money stuff, business, and then the market stuff. But the question is interesting. Also competitive advantage, yes, maybe someone can come, but we produce 135 gallons of wood vinegar using 1 ton of. This is the most highest productive system that is currently. Yeah. And then we are only and first producer of wood vinegar in North America combined with Europe.
And so that process is your IP?
Yes. So Verdi-Life owned it, actually. So that is what is going to be patent will be owned by Verdi-Life.
The production process.
Yes.
Really cool. Two-part question. I think the first is, why do you think somebody hasn't done this already? And the second, we talked about all the upsides of using wood. But what are some of the downsides to your business?
Downside. So yes, that East Asian countries use wood vinegar, but as I mentioned, our advantage is we produce 135 gallons, which is very higher than what they produce. So one of the advantage is, so wood vinegar was not used in the United States because there is actually not a good supplier in the United States that farmers can trust. The downside, right, do you see any downside?
There's always a downside.
I don't see a downside.
So maybe convincing farmers to use our product maybe is one of the toughest problems that we're going to face. So we are closely collaborating with some extension farm bureau at the Iowa, and they promise us help to do that. That we're going to give them some free samples. The farmers try that, and then they can provide us more information about farmers and how to reach them and how to convince them to use our product. This is probably one of the toughest time, but not.
Yeah, we need to educate farmers and then train them. Hey, this is the wood vinegar, a new product. Sometimes, for example, I was talking to a farmer, and he said that, I'm 16 years, I'm using, for example, this product, I'm fine, but why I have to move to this product? Then I have to, for example, explain, train them. Hey, these are the benefits, and this is how you, for example, can make it. Yeah, these are, for example, we also the sample stuff that we produce, we ship it to some farmers in California, New York, nurseries in Florida, Texas, Colorado. We got very positive, feedbacks on how interested. And then sometimes they're angry. Why this product is not fully commercialized? What is not SDL ready? So, good things take time. We believe this one. We are not going to rush. Good things take time.
I was just curious about the size of this market. You highlighted the 680 million growing at 20% a year. And I was wondering, what can you tell us about the overall fertilizer market, which I imagine is much larger, the inorganic side of things. And when can this be used versus, when do supposedly you have to use inorganic? Why isn't this, are there places where this cannot be used today because it doesn't lead to the growth that people need?
Would you please repeat the second part of the question?
The second part is this some, I guess another way to think of it is this less effective than inorganic fertilizer in any way that's preventing people from using it? I'm thinking about the negatives.
So, we talk to lots of experts in this area. Dick Schwab in Iowa, he's in the practical farmer extension. So we actually ask about what's the average, that farmers in the Iowa extension program spend on fertilizer and pesticide per year and per acre. He said that around 300 to 400. But here we posted just $100. Yes, the market is much more bigger. But we just keep the lowest amount, and the market is around $200 billion. So that market will be too much big. So that is why we said that, okay, 60 billion. Yes. And then the second part is, as I mentioned, we don't have any supplier of wood vinegar in the North America and Europe. That is why farmers didn't try it to see, hey, this is the benefit of wood vinegar compared to other products. We are working with our research and development partners, and mainly they are academic institutes, to reflect the benefit to the farmers. Also give them the samples to try them by themselves. Farmers are going to talk to each other, hey, this is the benefit. We also take about our R&D partner. Together we are going to say that, hey, this product is working. Right.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit about potential barriers to entry? In terms of regulation, because organic has a lot of regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Your product, I didn't see anything around qualification of the product and within ranges. Sometimes that will be a stickler on regulations as well. And also, channels to market can also be challenging to partner.
So the regulation for organic stuff, USDA and then EPA, they need to come to check the facilities that satisfy the standard. And they will see that there is no chemical stuff during the process, and we just need to register the product. That's it.
But do you have the chemical analysis of what's coming out of your facility there as your product?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that?
Is
that qualified already?
Yep, lab analysis, yep. There is no toxic or poison component in the wood vinegar at all. It's safe. And then since it's purified, sometimes in the morning I can drink it. But I'm not going to do it here.
Yeah. And has this been studied extensively as an alternative to fertilizer? Is there data out there where people, universities have compared side by side traditional organic versus?
Yeah, there are lots of studies in Japan and in South Asia that people done a lot of studies. By looking at literature, they have it.
Does it vary by crop? Or the effectiveness of this, or?
Yes, they got lots of feedback. The point is, yes, however, wood vinegar is very beneficial and good because the supply side is not that efficient. That is why the market was not expanding using this. Mm. So Japan is expert in bamboo wood vinegar. Australia is going to it. The market is expanding, and we would like to match the study that, for example, how the market of wood vinegar in Australia is growing, and then we compare it, what is the opportunity in North America. So that is actually the part of supply side, not the demand side. Yeah.
So can I just ask one quick question? I've been mulling this over, and the right way to ask this. And in the tech world, one of our partners is saying, you have innovation and distribution, and the race is with new entrants. Can the innovation beat the distribution before the distribution kills the innovation? Mm-hmm. Which is a way of saying that there are large entrenched players that control channels and access to markets. And a materials business can be a really good business with good profit margins like this. But knowing what I know about, can you double click a little bit more on how you get past the large entrenched oligopolies that already control the farm inputs business to this? You talked about a grassroots farmer to farmer kind of thing. I just have difficulty at this point seeing how you scale out. You've got, assuming all the numbers pencil out for the CapEx and farms and for the plants and distribution channels, you still have no commercial person or commercial ability on your team, and there's no, the way that farmers buy isn't through this routes that you proposed. So can you help me understand how you're going to get there before the distribution kills your innovation?
Very good question. I mean, you mean that because this is actually physical and practical products. So if you're thinking about the logistic part, yes. For example,
but even the sales, I mean, getting the local co-ops to adopt it, getting, I mean, Monsanto and all the seed vendors, the chemicals vendors, even on the retail side, like Scott's Miracle-Gro, they have a massive, massive commercial enterprise that has been known to play dirty tricks on new entrants in the market.
This is our challenge, that we need to get export in our team.
Let me explain. We are going to focus on a production plant, first pilot production plant in Iowa. We have focused on this. We know that we need some marketing people, we need financial people in our team, and we're going to add those people. Once we get this pilot plant ready and we get some initial revenue, then we can hire more people, more experts in the field, and add it to our team. And this is, you know, the baby steps that we are taking right now. We know that there's a long way in front of us, and yes, thanks for pointing out that to us, and we will grant that. Thank you.